you have Liquid, you have TSM, you have G2 up there. They're just they're trying to climb up there.
It's a case of big fish, little fish cardboard box here as we're about to go into our next game, as we're going into game number 38, ladies and gentlemen. It's our last game of Miramar here for week number 2. Get excited, get ready. The plane is about to fly. We're heading over to Sims and Demon.
I think I demand the camera on him. I want to see the dance moves. I want to see the big fish, little fish cardboard box.
You're not too old for that.
Hey,
sorry,
I'm not too old for that. That was actually my era. That's what it's from. Yeah, that's.
I know it's definitely from my time. That's for sure.
It's the jilted generation, all that lot.
Stacking shelves with it as well.
Yep.
Closing curtains.
It's
finger guns.
Would it be pre-Prodigy? I guess it kind of is, isn't it? It's kind of Prodigy is sort of when they were just bursting on the scene, right?
It's not the house era. It might be techno.
Yeah. In which case it must be.
No limit,
be like,
too extreme, all that stuff.
Yeah, when they started to burst on. Don't. You got to sing.
Takes me back, Lee.
You got to sing Russian in something soon.
It depends if G2 win, because they aren't doing well so far, and it's kind of annoying me.
No, if you're missing out, and Dave and Rich had a bit of a bet of who's going to come out on top, G2 or ENCE, between the two, and it's well, pretty one-sided so far.
I did let him go first. To be fair, I give him an advantage.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So you know what? I'll give you a helping hand, fella.
You give him a helping hand. Does he need it? I don't know.
There you go. You can.
There's not a lot changed on this one, actually. You know, Raise Your Edge. It's a kind plane path to just about everyone. They're all in their own spots, so. We are seeing, well, Navi actually went a bit further south. Maybe that's down to the plane path. They could have drifted over to Impala or Porto Paraíso, but they're going to be pretty happy. Let's see where the circle's going to go.
Oomph.
Ooh, okay. So we had the discussion in the last game, Rich, about the Western teams. Finally, they get a bit of benefit.
It's actually kind of, and I'm glad it has. It's followed what I was mentioning about how you have this little ridge line on that western side which struts out, and that's why I personally kind of think it acts as a bit of an area of denial for that circle. I could be completely and utterly wrong here, but you see how the circle actually does follow it, that ridge line all the way around. I always wonder to myself, that little kind of bump that sticks out, if it then always shifts and forces your circle more towards the east, again, I could be talking complete rubbish, but the circle, she is all the way up in that northern western corner. It'll be, it should be fairly straightforward entry pointing for this one. El Pozo, I would expect maybe Winstrike just dive on in there and get stuck in. FaZe, they might rotate a little bit earlier to try and get a good foothold on the map. Interesting to see if anybody goes for the crater fields. Obviously, for when you look at that position, it's almost dead center. But the problem is, you get some really good compounds on it, and you get some really good line of sight around it. No one can pull up on you, so to speak. But getting out of it can be a bit of an issue because teams can sit on that crater ridge and fire bullets and essentially pin you in, to be honest with you. But it is central, and there is an option. There is another little kind of town or village just to the right-hand side. Right-hand side of that. You can go set up. You'll have a decent line of sight. It's quite a sparse area to try and take hold of. So the center, it is messy. There's a lot of different options. I'd probably say you'd have to guess that nobody would go to the north, right? And that whole northern quadrant's going to be off limits.
So, bizarrely, the last time we had a similar circle to this, ENCE were the team that won it.
Okay.
And obviously, if you look at their position right now, you think, how would that be a case? And that is because they took that big northern swing. You know, like Raise Your Edge, they're going to be coming in the lane. Jokers will probably go south. Raise Your Edge will go above them and maybe start coming into the north side, of El Pozo. So I'm interested to see whether ENCE do a similar move this time. G2 kind of do the same, but they don't go as far north. So I'm really intrigued to see how their rotations work out. We are seeing M19 on the move already, very early actually, post 4 minutes. And the plane path wasn't that kind to them down at Los Leones either, so this is they must be really undergeared. Or managed to get very lucky.
I'm intrigued to see where Liquid, for TSM I think it's a fairly simple, just move left. As if it was just that easy. Hold W, just move left, move inland and get a decent place.
Or remember TSM bumped into NIP this time around, and I'm just looking at their spot now. They look at Gustav, he's gone way north of San Martin. He's not having any of that this time.
I think, yeah, he went ahead of the pack, so he can hold them at bay if they need to, or at least get him a decent location and clear something out, a place just to hold up in. Let's see where Liquid fall for this. It's been a little bit unlucky for them in the fact that the Knights have pretty much started to rotate at almost identical times, so they'll be ahead of the pack. Where are you going, Samu? What are you fancying? I'm intrigued to see where they land on this one. Kind of helps out from the other people who will pay off from that. Power grid will be empty. I would assume the Knights have left that. Picado, you can't go in because it's on edge of circle. The power grid might be a last stand for some of these teams like ENCE or maybe M19. I think M19 will probably take the southernmost road, to be honest with you, maybe even the westernmost road and go all the way on there. But I think power grid will be a last stand for somewhere like CrowCrowd or ENCE.
No, I stand by. I think ENCE are going to take this big northern swing.
You think?
Yep. Yeah, it's what they did last time. I want to see whether they do it again, and whether they did that out of being forced that way. You know, when maybe they tried to make this edge play and then work the way in and said, you know, let's just take a big wide swing. And we're just going to follow where Squeaky goes and continue that. So you can see FaZe Clan actually are posting up on the far western side with the knowledge that there's going to be no one on their back. So they're thinking, right, okay, we can play our way in. I would like to see them centering again, just like they did in the last game. They got themselves, what, 14 kills in that last game? And they were centered, probably the earliest I've seen, I think in PEL so far, around about the beginning of Phase 3, and they were pretty much on the move as well. And you can see they're trying to think, okay, let's get a little closer, scout it, move in, and playing it really nicely.
A hard shift here would completely throw this game into chaos, especially if it went west or north. Stick it straight over Cobred area. It's going to cause all kinds of problems because it's some rough terrain to traverse. And it's only a small city. It can't support that many teams. Maybe 2 at tops, 3 at a squeeze. FaZe on the west. Maybe they catch a team that gets a bit overzealous. We'll see. They're not going to go get stuck in just yet. All the main head of the pack is already inside the circle, even though it is rather dense. G2 have made their entry point just past the water treatment. And we're looking uphill to see where they can actually get a foothold on this one. But NIP is going to be ahead of them. M19 have set up a little bit of a choke point here.
That's interesting because you okay, but they still get the kill anyway.
Yeah,
but,
they get it, but he just knocks it. He's like, bye.
But can you remember M19? They were moving at 340. That's what I said. That was a really, really early move out of Los Leones. And clearly they had a game plan. They're like, we're going to catch Navi. They're going to rotate south. We know they will. And they set up a nice camp for that one. Vitality, a team that is, oh, well, they're caught in the hills.
This is an interesting place to stop.
Yeah, this is horrific for them.
I'm surprised that they ditched it there. I mean, I could be wrong, but it looked like they dove off the back and tried to make something of it. But you've literally lost 2 players by. And don't sit here, keep going, boys. Don't bother. Just keep on going. This is clearly a really
great game plan, yeah.
Terrible spot. Run away. Find somewhere else in the hills.
NIP are taking shots onto, surprise, surprise, the Knights. Real's caught out in the back. Gaxi gets the shot on him. So while they did just take that move on towards Vitality, NIP and Knights clashing once again. It's almost like they drop near each other. Oh, Navi, this is not going well for them, is it? That's 2 down.
Yeah, everything's kind of falling apart a little bit. Jeems actually comes in and steals Reals. That rhymed, I didn't mean it to. G2 have punched in. ENCE are following what you suggested they would, Lee. They're going all the way up the east. And they'll enter around that swampy kind of area. A little bit of water. Voxic has decided... Where did he come from? Did he push out there or is he pushing back in? Where was he originally?
They pushed out, obviously, to get Vitality, and they're just coming back.
Okay, so it might have been a bit of an overzealous push there. Come on, get inside.
You can hear all the third party, just the tap, tap, taps on the ground of all the bullets from all around them. Yeah, so everybody just about creepy crawling in. We'll see where it swings to. And so I'm interested. Squeaky's pulled up just at Oasis right now, just having a little scout, saying, yep, it's clear. And they're going to come in, I think, north side of La Cabrera and then try and bomb it in. Knowing that they're safe on the back, we'll see how it works out for them. As the circle is about to adjust. Digital Athletics already on the move, by the way, ready for this next circle. Ooh. Okay. Well, most teams are going to actually be fairly pleased with that one.
There's a couple of options here for a readjustment. CrowCrowd, they might just say, right, north it is, lads, crack on. Power Grid, Digital Athletics might also get the same call. I'd expect Liquid to already be in vehicles and working their way, maybe looking just towards their backline a little bit, adjust the vehicles and pull it to the back of the mountain where they were. G2 may come down and control San Martin. There is a potential to take those front couple of buildings, the the large apartment blocks. NIP, unfortunately, turning up to the party where Vitality's already hanging around.
Well, that's a surprise for me. I didn't expect them to go down there. I thought that was a beautifully cooked nade for a moment. NIP were looking pretty golden. Remember, there's only 2 members of Vitality here, so if they can get Gaxi back on the feet, it should be a pretty big advantage for them. NIP holding this one, deciding, let's push Vitality.
Protect the VIP. Jazza's got a nade, so maybe he goes for the confirmation onto Gaxi.
Oh, he's just moving inside. I was going to say Drayden was in a car. I was like, where is he going? He's just gone back over the road in the distance.
Hide the tyres.
Yeah.
Give them the options to get out if they need to and head for the hills. They don't want to go too far because Liquid's up there, but they're dead centre. And this goes to the same for NIP, so you'd expect them to kind of hold the nerve for now and try and hold the ground. That's why between NIP and Vitality, it's quite an important fight. Get the other team out, control the neighbourhood. But getting to it, it's going to be difficult. Miraku should be able to get Gaxi up here, but he needs to be aware of that grenade that's still lingering.
Yeah, big tight fight as well in the middle of the pack. You can see that with the stand-ins on the left there, that's a nade that's going to find its home. Shadow will be down. There's no support for him because Jazz is a mile away and smoked out. Miraku's even in to get the revive on Gaxi as well. So now Jazza, just the last man. I think NBS is just basically holding position and making sure he doesn't make a move. And Vitality, well, they're going to be the first team to go out here.
Jazz's last stand. A couple of grenades that are not... Oh, well, they'll put
They're
the
just
one in there,
the
which,
shacks,
yeah, that gives them the denial of the shack. They need to be aware that there is shots in the back line, but I think this is a 16th position, unfortunately, for Vitality late.
Yeah, he's tried a little underhand nade over the side there. Yeah, Gaxi's running back on that one. Not going to work out for them. Jazzy pops one out, and that's going to be Gaxi flushing him down, and Vitality, yeah. I mean, NIP, they're just like, we can confirm 2 kills here. They knew, they'd seen, obviously, Vitality going down in the hills to the Knights already, so they were well aware that this is a case of picking up 2 more points. And you saw the real-time points. It's how it means. Between TSM in 2nd place, there's a 19-point swing. Actually, not even that. 16-point swing down to, I think it's 8th or 7th. That's how tight they all are at the moment in that pack. And obviously, you know, while there's a lot of money, 225,000 I think is for phase 1 here. We should also mention, obviously, then that leads also with the top 4 going into the FACEIT Global Summit, which will be the PUBG Classic, taking part the 16th to the 21st of April, I believe.
I don't think getting to that Classic is going to be easy for these European teams.
No.
Mainly because, one, it's going to be a very tight leaderboard. We can obviously look at the top teams then and say, oh, well, they're miles ahead, but anything can swing, anything can change. I think we saw it in the OCE region. I think Atletico had a 70-odd point gap, and then Incognito literally got 100-plus points in one day and beat them for the spot.
A massive day, yeah.
A huge day, 100-plus point day, which is insane. Anything can kind of happen, but for next week, you're going to have all these next levels of weirdness thrown into it where teams are like, well, we can't go to London, so let's just practice for phase number 2. Hot drops, practice shoot, shooting rounds, shooting gallery. I don't know. Next week is going to be weird and wonderful.
They may be thinking, well, all right, we're going to start trying to contest for that spot. We going into phase 2, want to be dropping in that spot. So we're going to now start dropping onto you. ENCE are falling at the moment, the top of the table team in all sorts of trouble. Squeaky and Thrifley already taken down. They were trying to come down from their northern swing, and it kind of backfired on them, really. As now I'm looking towards, TSM. Gustav's popped out his vehicle to take on the Jokers. They're also trying to catch the Jokers. Jokers are going to come in right in behind Raise Your Edge as well. So it's starting to get very congested. FaZe, by the way, look at the swing they made. Look at FaZe's positioning. They were all the way on the western side. Now they're all the way on the eastern side, north of San Martin.
I like it. It's a good rotate. They'll try and take somewhere that, all being well, is clear in front of them. TSM needs to be very careful. They're committing a lot to this fight off screen against the Jokers. The biggest commitment is time. The longer they stay committed to this fight, the more utility they use, the more ammunition, everything else, but more importantly, time. Everyone else is getting ahead of the game and ahead of the curve for the circle. They are still outside, along with Navi, CrowCrowd, M19, and obviously the Jokers being the fight that they're currently going on with.
Liquid spot's great, by the way. They're on that hill edge above San Martin, so they're going to have this look down onto it. It's fairly central. They've only got to worry about the backs, but I think the NIP and the Knights are kind of do the defensive duty for them, so they don't really need to worry. So it's this triangle in the middle, which is effectively no man's land. So all the other teams are basically playing as far edge as they can. TSM, you can see Wookie and Michael making the move on to Chris. Chris tossing a couple of nades of his own. And he's also got Kane. That's a nice angle from Kane, just keeping them at bay from that hillside. And you can see ENCE also getting the shots across them. TSM, it's not going too well for them here. They're very strong. And actually, this sort of position is where they pick up most of their wins, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, all around this area, just a little bit more to the east. They've
5 victories here, haven't they?
I think they've had 4 specifically in that one kind of area within a couple, you know, 200, 300, 400 yards of one another.
But for the first time, I think they're not holding one of those central compounds, which they've done so often.
The blue will be on their back. They expended a lot of time. A couple of teams decided to disengage from them, one of them being the Jokers, who now have a nice ridgeline on the opposing side of the road. TSM do, unfortunately, have to go up against the Germans. We've got G2 directly in front of them. We are full-man stack here. I think we are 4-man strong on either side. Gustav definitely damaged, and this is what I mentioned about the lines of sight. Look at that, ENCE almost clip him.
Well, the circle's about to shift. It will move towards them, so it is a battle for position. It means that FaZe are in a tricky spot, along with the CrowCrowd, Red Diamonds, Na'Vi all need to make their moves. It's going to get very messy on that hillside. Look at that M19, Winstrike, and Jokers. They're all kind of looking down on these at the moment, but they're going to have to all move.
Did you see how many layers G2 essentially had, though? They had the main little turret kind of in front. You got your one-man up close and personal, being Chris, more than likely got an AKM or something I didn't quite see. And then all of a sudden, you have the rest of G2 completely split and spread. You got the hillside, you got the building windows. They currently have so many lines of sight on TSM, unless TSM get hyper-aggressive on this hillside and then punch them in the back. And they might not see this coming, actually.
Liquid have left the compound, and FaZe are going to move up the hill. CrowCrowd have actually just moved into San Martin right behind them. While that's all playing out, you can see TSM making these moves on G2, trying to surround them, but they're getting bodied. That's Digital Athletics that just landed some shots on Rory there, forcing him to back away. They just repositioned themselves. They got in position. Meanwhile, in the hillside, you can see the Jokers, Winstrike, and, well, soon to be M19 as well, all engaging with one another.
They've hit the wall. Wookie. There's a bit of suppressing fire I did see. That's some good shots onto Kane. That removes him from the hill. The marksman's off now, and they can take a one-on-one battle. Sampty finds the remnants of Na'Vi. One player left below him. Will they commit to this? Will they go for another one? Do they even know one's there? Empty must have seen him, surely. Oh, the grenade confirms the information. They'll hunt down this last player, Pokamolodoy, in his last stand. And there we go. Na'Vi, 15th place.
And TSM, they managed to get into this compound, but that may well be all she wrote. As we see Winstrike.
That's a good
hit.
hit.
They've just got smashed. Winstrike just losing players left and right. They're trying to move down the hill, but M19, NIP benefiting from it as well, picking up as many kills as they can. Red Diamonds, they're trying to send it on the hill. Digital Athletics on the back. As soon as they move over the hill, ENCE will be there, ready and waiting with open arms. FaZe, if they can get a single underhand nade. Speaking of nades, TSM, they're going to nade into oblivion.
Which angle did he get him at? Oh, that's dirty. Out of the window, on top. Who's going to come out on that one? Of course, going to be Brexigo. Has the line of sight. Beautiful, beautiful angle. Chris gets the call. It might be time to go here. We're looking at a different fight. That'll be Mexico going up against the Los Empires hiding in the opposing building. So 3 teams back to the TSM fight. They're losing players left and right. ENCE have also got involved in this one, and they're knocking members out from both sides of the rosters.
Trifoli doing work there and just sneaking it away. What just happened? Nookie got a triple with the nade. Sorry, this is a double. It's Wanderer and Enoch being confirmed.
Bye-bye.
Winstrike will follow. That's going to be 14th place for them. We knew it was going to be a bit of a cruncher in there. Looking back in San Martin, by the way, Mexi is still there. The rest of his team, rest of FaZe Clan, 3 members up on the hillside. Mexi's remaining in San Martin along with CrowCrowd and Red Diamonds, possibly testing out his best Russian.
Uh-oh. Chris puts down a molly. That will spread on wood as well, unfortunately. That might have been rather unexpected.
How does he survive that?
It was actually very clever to actually jump up and use the railings there just to get out of it.
Little known fact in real life, railings do save you from fire.
You gotta get off the wood, right?
Mexi, who is in there, has actually come out on top against Dreamview and Alf players. How has he managed to just pop out? I think they completely caught him off guard there. Managed to still in
Good
there.
nade,
There's
though.
the nade. That's going to be Mexi done and dusted. So he will fall down. We're also seeing Senya go down for the Jokers. 13th place for them. They're going to be kicking themselves. This is a circle that suits them. And they've gone out way too early for my liking of Miramar.
Easy kill. GG. CrowCrowd, that's the last game of Miramar. Another CIS roster out here in week number 2. Mexi His death is confirmed. Chris still here, holding TSM at bay for
That's
now.
a horrible shift for the circle.
Where's it go? Ooh,
Yeah,
that's intriguing.
It's actually given FaZe a really an interesting position with the move that Team Liquid leaving that compound. But Liquid, of course, could just come back on the hill and push them. TSM still engaged. You can see in the pit down the bottom there.
Where do you really
G2.
go on this circle? The center's just no man's land, right? It's just dead.
Yeah, Razor Edge are laughing. The circle's gone that way. So Digital Athletics down here, you can see they've got themselves the circle. Red Diamonds somehow have managed to now get 4 alive onto this ridgeline.
Have to be careful they don't get boxed in, though, especially if another team comes up and over the hill. Ooh, the Knights are going for a bit of a run. I could see that down
that's not
on the side of the map. No, they tried to blitz it into the circle. Honestly, if Liquid didn't get them, NIP have basically a checkpoint ready and waiting for them, so they're down and gone as well. Voxic, the final man to hit the dirt, unfortunately. Samp team confirms his death with a nade. Rory's gone on a wide extension here. He just has to be aware. He got shot earlier on from Digital Athletics.
He's escaped is what he's done.
As long as they don't get seen, though, that's the problem. If he gets spotted, it's an easy GG and a big rip for TSM. And they have been. Look at that.
Yeah, DA.
Was he going for the crate?
DA spotted him. They're going to go for it. Michael's down. And should be in all such trouble. Elite player, he's sending it. He's trying to get in the center. He's managed to ditch himself. He's in the circle for now, but now Team Liquid, they're moving their attention. Gaxi trying to come up behind him. He did get Samty down, but he's quickly flushed down. Jeems in all sorts of trouble. It's FaZe one side, NIP the other, that are taking the damage onto Team Liquid.
It comes back, though, as an instant shot. Rory gets finally found by Udyr. They did hunt him down in the end. Samty also gets confirmed by Gaxi, so NIP sticking another point on the board. MBS is getting up close and personal. He's crossed the road. Vard's got the nades. They might be able to pre-smoke this. You can see Vard looking onto M19. Elite player directly in front of him. MBS might be able to hold the off angle. If not, he'll at least be able to keep the remnants of Team Liquid at bay. Shots are already coming out from across. Yeah, this is a bit of a three-way split, unfortunately. FaZe have eyes on Liquid. NIP have eyes on Liquid. But NIP also have been guarded and get by N19. Pick your poison, pick your fight.
Red Diamonds, their movement has worked so well for them. They should have been dealt with by Digital Athletics, but they weren't. They should have been dealt with by FaZe Clan, but they weren't. And now they've managed to actually get this 2-2 split kind of behind them. They're going to try and take on Team Liquid here.
Surely.
Well, Gemty's tossed the molly, tried what he can, but the circle again has took a big hard shift, and G2 can benefit from that one, along with ENCE, by the way, who's still got 2 alive up in that northern side. And, of course, Razor Edge sitting pretty in their compounds, watching everything play out.
7 kills here for Liquid. Nice high kill game so far. Circle once again goes away from them. G2 have a really nice setup. They've put 2 on the hillside, almost center of the circle, and the left Udyr back on the compound to get a nice denial of sight for any teams that want to try and push down onto G2 from the north. So he can basically keep ENCE at bay if they want to make any kind of movement. Vard goes for the vehicle and gets absolutely battered.
If Ibby's got a nade, FaZe are in the ditch and will get caught out. M19 caught out. We'll see whether Ibiza does toss a nade out or not. Yes, he is. He's going to try. They are in that little cove, and there we go. Goes to the backside, jump away, but there's a second one that followed. Ibby, how did he survive that? I don't know. He didn't quite cook it. Well, Uber's going to go over, and they realize they can try and flush him here. Uber, will he be able to catch him? He will. Ibiza's going to be down and flushed. I think he was lying down there. Jeems on the bike, literally trying to come charging through, see whether he can manage to get in and down. Send it. Nope, not going to happen. He got downed. And Jempty, the last man standing for Liquid on the hillside. Now FaZe turn their attention to the Red Diamonds, moving their way down the hillside towards them.
These smokes have been used fantastic, building a bit of a wall and stopping anyone from watching on the backlines or at least getting involved in this fight. They know they have to deal with Jempty, and they also know they potentially have a player left on the remnants of, I don't think they realize the Red Diamonds have been hit from a different angle, so.
DA getting shot in the back by FaZe Clan here. They can't go any higher. G2 there. You just saw actually the red blip on Udyr, I think it was as well. Jempty, last man standing for Team Liquid as he tries to make the move, looking to try and finish off NBS here. Could get an IP, should get an IP, but chooses not to go for NIP. Instead turns around and takes one to the face from Uber.
He should have gone for it. He should have just took the point. You could see he was undecisive because he knew that if he did back out on this one, he was going to get shot in the back and die. So he should have just gone for an IP, picks up a point. If he died, he died. You know, it's better at least getting a refrag than nothing whatsoever. DA just at the bottom of the hill. We've seen Kate now push up from the back.
He's trying to make a mad dash. That's not going to work. Yeah, he's in the middle of the road. Yeah, I don't know why. I guess he's trying to get up the cactus, right?
Yeah.
That's what he's trying to make a move for.
Completely open. Because Uber now has to do it, and where do you go?
There we go. FaZe Clan eliminated in 6th place. They picked up a few kills from that one, though. And now Fastrail eating the dirt. NIP still alive. NBS, remember, he was left. He was left alive somehow, some reason by Jempty. There's some sort of secret pact we didn't know about. But instead, he's going to get caught out. That's a joke, by the way, guys, before you take it seriously.
Chris up close and personal with the scout. You just see him with the AKM, but the scout works very well on this map as well. 5.56 gun on it. Decent rate of fire and easy to control. Especially if he wants to keep Digital Athletics at bay, which he can. They can hold the hillside, but they need to be careful. ENCE are going to be just round the corner, but Kate's still doing this 2-1 split, and he is holding them. So it's a really good move from Kate. Chris gives him the information. He now should be able to just wait and see if they overextend across this hillside. AKM at bay, laying down as well. They'll completely destroy them if they do step over this edge. For ENCE, it's just, where do we go? I think at the moment it's hold W. There's really nowhere else. You've got Raise Your Edge on one side and G2 on another. There's not really much of an option here. They need to pull something off, and a god play right now from Rustam Matt would be huge.
But it doesn't matter, does it? It's easy for ENCE, surely. They just, you know, they've not had to do a great deal. They went for a 2-2 split. It's worked out, and they're in the top 4. They've got themselves yet more placement points to continue their position at the top. For G2, though, this could be their first win of the week, and it's been a bad week for them overall. What did they get one on day one? Maybe they got one on day one. I'm not too sure. I'm trying to think if you did have any.
Vehicles might take Chris out here. See, one of these two, just knocking one of these boys out, gives ENCE a really good foothold to make a push on that. Bit of a gap there and take control. No, it's all falling apart. Kane had him. He was waiting for a while with the AKM. And now he waits for the other one. Doesn't realise Trifeli's actually moved round. Now Digital Athletics will get involved. They've heard the gunshots going off. I think, okay, well, maybe it's time to take a movement.
Oh,
that hurt.
Smashed straight back in the face. Chris has been downed.
Irish should push on this.
Is he going to go for the flush? Yeah,
he looked away.
It's Kane downed as well by Trifeli. Can he go off here? Udia, he's getting pushed by Beautiful Death. Oh, G2, what just happened? And, well, ENCE gained 2 points out of nothing there in a 1v3 with a little help from a Turk.
You can hear him shouting.
Iro and a Beautiful Death, and yeah, Trifeli.
You can just hear him. He knows he's...
1v4, come on! Get a nade. Go on, nade. Just one.
Friends.
Oh, he doesn't have any, He's just got smokes. All right.
He's got the ridgeline. If they all pick this individually, I mean, it would be a complete cluster on their side.
Rambo time, can't work out for him. Raise Your Edge will pick themselves up. Well, one of the easiest victories they've had, I think. They've just sat in the compound and said, thank you very much, but isn't that the right way? 4 wins for Raise Your Edge now.